It's been a while. Because,
Been a
holidays
while.
and sickness and life. But we're
Life.
back.
Yay.
Yay.
It's good to be back.
Huzzah.
It's nice to have almost everyone. Unfortunately, we are once again without E, but soon we will have them back. I am
Soon.
excited.
Soon.
That sounds ominous when you say it like that,
It's supposed to.
which is appropriate.
It's
I was going to say we're talking about E. That makes sense, right?
So hi. What's
Hello.
everyone been working on? It's been a while.
Yeah.
Stuff? Maybe?
So, like,
I finished
literally.
that.
Yes, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
DB. Oh, okay, fine.
You.
Literally, like a half an hour ago, I finished my second bag of sorting.
Yay!
Now you have a place to
So
keep your
Blueberry
dice.
was at dance, and so I was hanging out with all the dance moms, knitting. I was like the only person knitting, which is like hilarious, hanging out with a bunch of dance moms and me and the guy knitting. So so there you go.
As
Yes,
one does.
yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Break those gender stereotypes.
I love
Absolutely. Got my little dividers in there.
It. Yay.
This is almost all of the rest of the yarn from the first one that I did,
Oh, good.
which I sent to my boss. So it was like I had enough to do the whole bag, 2 drawstrings, so that I can cinch
I
it
love
close
it.
together like that. I love.
Yeah.
I dig it very much. Dig it.
And now we just need to get you a bunch of dice to fill it.
I'm starting.
Even better.
What a good start.
I
So,
am going to be
I'm
ending my
notorious.
dice collection soon, I think.
What?
I think
You-
once I hit 1,000, I'm going to stop intentionally collecting dice on my own. If they come to me, they come to me.
Oh, that's fair.
But I'll stop purchasing them. But
Yep.
I got this month's Critical Dice subscription in, which puts me at 918 dice. And I think that's a lot.
Damn, Danny.
I
I love it.
Is 1,000 divisible by 7, or do you have like odds here and there?
I've got some odd ones, like I've got some special D20s. I've got several sets from when I first started. I was playing a bard shadow dancer, and so I had a ton of D4s because she had a lot of things that used D4s. So every set that I had, I bought extra D6s so I could roll 6d6, and extra D4s so I could roll 4d4, and 2 20s just in case one hated me.
Yes, of course.
So-
That's important.
As always, yeah.
So there are some like mega sets, but they're important.
So Danny, I am almost afraid to ask this question
Yes.
because you told me exactly how many dice you have.
Yes.
That implies you have a system for keeping track of your dice. I'm intrigued.
Of course she does.
I have a cart, a rolling cart. I don't know if you've seen like the Lexington carts that they have at Joanne or Michael's rather, the 3-tier carts. I have one of those full of dice. Each set has its own bag or its own stand. We 3D printed some stands for some of my sets. So they've got little display stands. And actually, if I set them up around me, it looks like an auditorium of dice watching me. So that's fantastic.
exciting. That is okay.
I'm
But-
hoping to
so-
play in person again one day and have like an auditorium or a stadium sort of encounter.
Right.
And I'll just have all my dice be the audience. It'll be fantastic.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So that's your storage solution. Do you have like an inventory solution as well? Do you have software that keeps track of your dice or
I don't. Someone asked me maybe 6 months or a year ago how many dice I had. And so I actually sat down and just counted them all.
counted them?
And now every time more dice come in, I just add to the number.
Add. Gotcha.
Okay.
But they
that
all
makes sense.
have like specific homes. Like this is my yellow and cream bag that has my yellow and clear dice. So they all match. Because I find my dice are happier when they are in stylish homes that match their look.
DB is making faces like she doesn't even know how this works.
That's because DB just has a sack, a giant sack of dice that her friend made for her. Is it getting full? Yes, it is. But yeah, Danny is like, I have everything neatly done, yada yada, and I'm like, here is my sack of shiny rocks.
So the difference between a dice goblin and a dice dragon.
Yeah,
Yes.
Danny's a hoarder. I'm a dice goblin, just like
And I even have a
Nice.
dice jail, so
Of
that when it's
course.
not rolling well,
Mhm.
it can sit there
that's
and
because
watch.
the
what's happening.
alternative is really hard to do on stream without making it awkward.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Jesus, yeah. Danny, you know you're not going to stick to 1,000.
Might.
Did you get a different
Nope.
question, kind of off the. Did you get Jenny D's new calendar
I did, and the dice.
with
you
the
get the
dice?
dice?
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hey, we are
They're
nothing.
pretty.
but they all
They're
really
pretty
gorgeous.
dice.
they roll like shit for me though.
Oh, really?
I haven't rolled them yet. I've had like 3 or 4 games so far this year, which, given how many I usually play, is really kind of surprising.
So talking about D&D a little bit. Monday I had D&D with my home group, and we have split the party, so we're doing separate sessions for 2 of the characters, and then the rest of the characters have another session.
That's smart.
15 minutes into the game, our DM kills both of us, and he goes, now listen. And we're like, okay. He goes, we can A, start this over because I rolled way too good against you two. Or B, one of you can die and the other one can be saved by the guards. And I went, and he goes, now, if we do the second one, we can't, like, play today, because, like, and we're like, okay, can we do the first one? And he's like, yeah, I would prefer that as well.
We'll pretend this never happened.
It never happened. We're not telling.
It was a
the other
dream.
group.
It was that season of Dallas where everything was a dream.
Jesus Christ.
Oh god, that's the fuck.
I
I
remember
hate
that.
any show that does that. Any show who does that or time travel that makes whatever happened earlier in the season not matter. Those 2 things. Lazy fucking writing.
Yep.
You know, honestly, I appreciate time travel in one show, and that is Voyager, because when Janeway fucked up too bad, she immediately went for the time travel button. She was like, you know, because like most of the time when people time travel, it never comes up again, you know, unless it's Doctor Who.
Right.
But Janeway's like, you know what? We fucked up, guys. Time travel again. And she's fucked up so bad that she has her own protocol with Time Fleet. Like, you know, the Janeway paradox. Like you can't Janeway this, guys.
I love that.
That's yeah, but there are so many shows that do it badly.
Yes.
And I
Most
will
of
get most of them, yes. And one of those shows is American Horror Stories.
Oh no.
Oh.
I'm so mad. I was like, lazy writing. Fuck you, lazy writing.
Without spoiling, I can say that one show that did it very well was Babylon 5.
Okay.
All right, I'll take that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
But
Mostly because
Oh, go ahead.
no, it's just one of those things where it's like you don't really realize what's happening until it's happened, and then you're like, oh,
That's fair. That's fair. But whenever you use time travel to basically erase half of the season, no. Fuck off.
Yeah, no.
It's what is the point at that? Like, it's the everything's a dream, and I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, unfortunately popularized by things like Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland, and
Mm-hmm.
Dallas.
we all grew up on those stories. We did not all grow up on Dallas, thankfully.
I unfortunately
I
grew
do.
up on Dallas because my grandparents were like, "Oh, gotta get that Dallas."
Yep.
Who shot JR?
Okay, Quantum Leap is a different bag of situations, Danny's mom.
It is.
Like it's a very interesting show.
But it
I
treats time travel very differently than a lot of shows that use time travel as a
yes.
solution.
also just randomly seeing Scott Bakula in a dress now and then. Chef's kiss.
Have you watched any of the new ones?
Not yet. No.
You
Is
know,
it good?
Yeah, I've been enjoying it.
Okay.
Columbo needed
Oh,
time
Greg
travel.
doesn't like it?
Craig doesn't like.
I only watched the first episode. It didn't grab me, and
Oh.
I have not made the time to give it a second chance.
See,
Of
I've,
what?
I've enjoyed it more as it goes on, but honestly, I'm enjoying
Quantum Leap.
the
Mm.
support characters
Mm,
more than like the guy who's leaping.
mhm. That would be easy to do because I was not enjoying the guy who was leaping a lot
Yeah,
at all. So
he does get better as he starts to get his memories back.
good for him.
So
Wait.
I might give it a
Amnesia
shot.
quantum leaping? That seems weird.
Well, so she's memory was a core tenet of Quantum Leap. You know,
Was it really?
absolutely.
listen,
That's why
I d-
Al had to tell him clues
Everything.
along the way, but not too much.
yeah.
Yeah.
I told you that I've only watched like 3 episodes of Quantum
Okay,
Leap.
well.
Like, it's before my time, guys.
Oh, I forget
I
that you're a
understand.
baby.
Bless you. You're so cute.
Bless you. Jeez.
Oh. Greg, was there anything else that you've been knitting?
Yeah, sure. I
As we bring it all the way back around.
knitted a couple of hats.
I love 'em.
Oh, yeah.
One of my friend's mom is experiencing cancer right now.
Aw.
So she was like, another friend was like, Greg, you want to knit her some preemie hats? Not preemie hats, some chemo hats. I said, "Oh, absolutely." And I was inspired by Tiana, who had been knitting up this Smoke in the City hat, which was like a really, really super awesome pattern. So I knitted up that, and I only say that because I designed it. So I knitted up one of those, which I haven't knitted in years. And so it was like fun to knit that one up again. And that was fun.
And
then
where
I
can we
knitted
get this pattern, Greg?
you can go to knittingdaddy.com and I'm sure there's a link there. But then also I did a 4-pointed halo hat, which has got a really awesome
Aw.
crown. I love the way
Ooh.
these decreases work. This was one that I had knitted early in my knitting life. And so I got the pattern back out and knitted it again. And I had a lot of fun doing that. So yeah, been working on some hats over the holidays. I also received some hats. So I'm going to take a little bit of like a segue. And I know E's not here, but they sent me some preemie hats.
Oh, they're so
E
small.
is here in spirit
Aw.
with these delightful preemie hats. You
We miss
sit it on the
you,
baseball.
We do miss
I
E.
love it
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah,
That's
got a
so
little heart on
tiny. I
it.
Oh
love
my
it.
god.
Got some
I
with
love
pom
it.
poms. So super cute. So I'll be giving these to the hospital. But I wanted to wait until we streamed again so I could show them to everybody before I did. So I've been knitting hats, collecting hats, and knitting bag, and really just trying to catch my breath.
Yeah.
Rude.
Who else has been
And that's
knitting
all I've
stuff?
got to say about that.
Clearly.
Jim Bob Bojangles,
Wearing a
which
hat.
is wearing a hat. I knitted that hat. That is Danny's 24 days of Christmas hat, but I only used 12 because that's what the pattern that's what how much my stash had. I really like it. I'm actually working on another one, but it's not in like Christmas colors. I was like, I just need a hat pattern, so I'll do it again in a larger size with different colors. But that one's not finished yet. And then I'll be making like 2 more because I was talking to my girlfriend and I was like, do you guys need hats in Georgia? And she was like, yes. And I went, okay. And I bought pom-poms for them because I don't know how to make pom-poms because the instructions on my pom-pom maker were bullshit.
What kind of
Jen?
pom pom maker do you have?
The ones that you fold up and then wrap around and cut.
Like, they look like circles, like half circles and stuff.
This thing, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
So the instructions are bullshit.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
we should
The
do?
instructions are go to YouTube.
Yeah. What we should do is do some sort of pom pom project on That's Pretty Crafty because I've got those too, and we can use them together, and
Yeah,
you can learn how
okay.
to actually use them, not with the terrible instructions.
I was so mad. I was sitting there going, what did I do wrong? Like, and then I'm like, and then at one point, the pom-pom I made fell apart, so I wasted all that yarn.
Oh.
And then I was like, I made another one. And I was like, I am determined for this one to stay together. So a lot of it was me sewing things into the center to keep it together.
And you had a big one there too. It's not like these little tiny ones.
Oh, I have more sizes. Like
Little
it came
beads.
with
practice
the
on
other
the
sizes.
practice on the small ones.
Yeah. Waste a little bit less yarn.
It was at this point I'm just like, fuck
So,
it.
did
I
you
don't
get
need
the,
pom poms.
The faux fur pom-poms that
I
have
did.
like the little elastic things?
Yes.
Well, that means that I can teach you about a trick for putting those on hats. So if you leave,
Scared.
let me show you. So I also made my hat in 3
That's
different
so
sizes.
cute.
But if you look, I did not cinch the top up super tight. There's a little bit of a
Okay.
hole there. And what I like to
She
do, I haven't
said.
done it yet, but on the inside, just off from the top of the hat, I will stitch a button.
Oh,
And then what you do is you use a crochet hook or something to pull the loop of the pom-pom through there and loop it around the button. So the pom-pom comes off, so you can wash the hat without washing the faux fur pom-pom and ruining it.
it's a great idea, Danny. Now I have to get buttons. I don't
I'm
own
sorry.
buttons. Are you kidding me?
What? Don't you have a container? Don't we all have a container? Doesn't everyone? I'm
I
old.
actually do have a container, but that was for something different,
Oh.
and I haven't used many of them, and they're all very green. So you know,
Drugs?
Okay.
why would you use buttons for drugs?
I don't know. You said you had a container and that you were using it for something else, so I thought buttons of drugs.
I'm just trying to understand the reasoning behind connecting buttons and drugs.
I mean, containers hold things. Containers can hold drugs.
No, but
That's where my brain is.
Containers can also hold cookies, like they hold
Yeah.
the cookies I brought back from Europe.
When I was growing up, the buttons at my grandma's
Were
house
in a cookie
lived in the cookie
tin?
tin.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
that's
the
the
Danish-
container for
Danish cookie
buttons.
tin.
Yeah, Danish cookies are for buttons and sewing stuff.
I am positive that I have had those cookies before, but I'm struggling to remember what they taste like.
They're
I
like
taste like heaven.
shortbread,
they
right?
do. They're
They're like a
kind of
shortbread?
shortbready.
Okay. They have like that sugar on top, right?
Some of them do.
Some
yeah,
of
the
them.
best ones.
Noted.
The coconut ones are not good.
No.
I don't like
one
fake
likes
coconut
coconut.
almost ever.
Right.
Yeah.
I do like real coconut. I found that out when I was in a place where coconuts were very prominent. So it was like, okay, real coconut, even like the shaved, fresh out of a coconut hull, husk, whatever the freak those things are called.
Coconut stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's good.
Sorry.
And coconut milk is quite tasty, but not the dried nasty stuff that everyone uses to bake.
Yeah.
I have found out that I really like coconut in my alcohol.
Mm,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
fair.
I found that out on a cruise ship. There was a lot
Oh,
of
I mean-
drinking.
It's a good reason. It's a good place to find that out.
Yeah.
Do you have any other things you've been working on, DB?
The never-ending fucking scarf. I will never be done with this stupid fucking thing. Are you done with yours yet?
No. No,
Okay.
that's something I'll talk about in a minute.
Oh, good. Because, like, I'm over it. Also, I got a cat, so we have 2 cats in the house now.
How's he settling in?
Good, except I am about to punt the dog. Because anytime he comes, like, hangs out, Lucas runs after him, surprises him, and then he runs away. And I'm like, Punty,
Oh,
my sweet boy.
poor thing.
God. Anyway, no, I haven't been working on anything else because my life is consumed by 2 projects.
Okay. Well, since we've got a lot of overlap about what I want to talk about, I'm gonna go next because
Do it.
I did hats. I have
Yeah.
3 slightly different.
Oh my
sizes of
goodness.
hat.
Holy shit, they look so good, Danny.
I
You did a great
love
job.
This yarn so much. So this is from Whimsy Stitches. This is Have a Very Merry Gay Christmas. I think some combination of those words. And it was his rainbow 24 rainbow colors, which is
I
just
love-
beautiful. And I also have a pair of matching hand warmers in the size
Oh.
small. And
Very
I have
pretty.
the white fluffy pom-poms to put on the top. I just haven't attached them yet because these just came off the blocking towel.
Do I need to block?
You don't have to, but because this is for a design, I want to take like fancy pictures. So
Mood.
that is a me
My
thing.
fancy pictures are on Dr. Jim Bob.
Well, there you go.
He is
I
now
mean,
going to
having-
be my model.
Having an aesthetic TM is very important.
It is. I finished
boy.
the socks that I started finally when I was in Ohio for GooseCon.
I was
Hey!
gonna say those are the GooseCon socks,
Hey!
aren't
The
they?
socks are
Ooh.
done,
Wisconsin.
and one of them has so much pooling, and the other one does
Wild.
not. But
What
they
does
were
that mean?
where it's like pools of the color,
Oh, I see.
and I knit them
Oh,
two at a time.
pooling. Okay.
So the tension is the same, but I guess it was just pulling from one end of the ball instead of the other and knitting the opposite direction.
Weird.
Whatever.
They look really nice. I like them a lot.
Yeah,
They're pretty.
slightly larger than my usual socks because they're a slightly heavier yarn, and I didn't realize that until I was partway through. I'm like, that's fine. They'll be house socks.
That's yeah.
And then I have two projects that I'm really proud of that I want to show. So the first one uses our friend of the podcast or friend of the stream, Fantasy Fiber Arts.
Oh my
That
god.
is stunning.
So the pattern is What Tomorrow Brings by Stephanie Lotvin. And it is designed for 25 minis. The yarn is from Fantasy Fiber Arts, and this is her Johnny Depp yarn vent set.
Oh, that's
okay.
right.
And it is so big and cushy, and I love it. And I'm going to spoil the surprise because I'm still waiting on signatures from a couple of you. But look at this thing.
Uh-huh.
A tag, and on the opposite side, made by, and then your signature.
That's amazing.
Because I have access to a laser cutter. And so I
Yeah.
designed the little heart yarn, and because the opposite side is going to have your signature. And I'm going to send you guys all some little tags so that you can put them on things that you give to your friends and family and loved ones.
I should probably
Aw.
actually like send you my signature at some point, huh?
Yeah,
I was in
Uh,
Europe. I was in Europe when you asked,
Yeah,
and I
you're
was like,
busy.
I am so off of your time zone. I don't even know which way's up and down
Yeah.
anymore.
Ren, I'm
hilarious.
in her time zone and I still haven't given her my signature yet.
That's okay.
So-
I haven't had time to actually get them printed because I came up with that idea like over the holidays and life happened. So
Yeah.
Danny, I also got your card.
yay.
I fucking loved it.
So cute.
Yeah. Life got in the way this year. So all the cards that I had finished, I talked about it on That's Pretty Crafty. Like in early October, I was done making all my Christmas cards. I didn't get around to filling them out and sending them.
Mm.
So
That
I
sounds right.
just remade them all and it's fine. And
They're
then-
super cute. Do you have them for next year?
Exactly. So this
They're
is
done.
my last thing that is done.
Oh.
You finished.
It looks so cool, but also when you
Yeah.
started holding it up, I was like, when did we start making voodoo dolls?
Please not a voodoo doll.
I know, but like the eyes made me go,
Yes.
what? Oh, and now like as you've held it up, I'm like,
Yeah.
I know what it is.
So this is 5. He's a Warforged, but he's also part tree. So when you look at like his belly, he's made of tree, and the side of his head, there's just a mask on him. And he's
Oh
got
my
a
God.
cape, and he's got all these vines and flowers that grow out of him, and a branch, and
And you can undress him.
you can. But he looks kind of weird because he's just a tree boy underneath.
So do I. So I
You
understand.
are also just a tree boy underneath.
But if you look up close, you can see all the gold because the character is covered in cracks that have been filled in with gold. So I did gold stitching everywhere, and
My brain can't see it, but that also might be
it's-
my
it's
shitty
hard to
monitor.
see on the camera. But I'm super
That's a really
pleased
cool
with it.
top too. The little sweater
Yeah, I was
top
pretty
tunic
pleased with
thing.
the
It's
ribbing and
nice.
stuff. So I have written out the pattern for him, but it's a lot of fiddly little custom work, so I don't know that I'll actually write it up and put it out as a pattern.
That's fair.
But
I love knitting stuffies, but I shudder at the idea of writing a pattern for one.
so I've written a pattern for some simpler ones, but man, this guy had a lot of parts. So.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah.
about to get sent off to the player of the character, because apparently that's the thing I do is I make stuff for people that I enjoy.
There
You
you
make
go.
content that I like, I'm gonna make stuff for you.
I mean, yeah, that's what basically has happened with things that I make for the redacted reports. I'm like, I like this. Fuck.
I like this for some of my
Sorry?
content.
Yeah, you should. You should apologize.
Oh, I'm not.
I know you're not. You enjoy it too much.
Oh, I do. It's one of those things where it's like I put so many hours into it that seeing the creation that other people do based on it really does my heart good, because it's like, yeah, I put a lot of time and effort into it, but it inspires other people to be creative and have fun with their thing. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
so much happy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
All right, who do we still have left? Ren and Hollow. Who wants to go first? Tell us about what
Well,
you've been doing.
I have been working honestly on just knitting and like just trying to like get my technique down, like actually like working on stuff. I left my bag downstairs. 'Cause that's the only place that is safe from the dog.
That is a thing. That is very much a thing.
Yeah, I do not have knitting trained puppies as you do. So it might, yeah, but I've just been kind of like, like casting on. I have like 4 different sets of needles with like stuff cast on, just like to
Nice.
practice.
Mhm.
So that has really like been my thing, just like getting better, like actually doing the knitting.
Yep. That's, I mean, you just have to do it. And keep doing it and keep doing it. How about you, Ren? I know you've done stuff. I've seen
Yeah.
some pictures.
You know, one of the power plays is making something for someone in front of them and them not realizing that you were making it for them until you take it off the needles, tie it off, weave it in, and go, here for you.
Yes,
Which-
that is the
which is
best.
Which is what happened over Christmas while I was in Europe. So I was doing a lot of knitting while driving through Europe, because
That's what you do in the car when you're a passenger and you knit.
that's what you do when there's 5 or 6 hours between, cities where you're going to be crashing out for the night and then going and exploring Christmas markets. So as Greg mentioned, I've been working on the Smoke in the City pattern that he devised. And I got fast enough with that the third one that I made, I was able to finish in 3 days.
Wow. Good job.
damn.
I'm so impressed.
It was one of those, if I do if I like really focus on this when I'm hanging out and during family time, I can get this done for my brother-in-law by Christmas. And I did. Halfway through the day on Christmas, I took it off the needles and handed it to him,
That's awesome. That's
which
the
I was very
best.
pleased about. And now I've cast on another one because I want to play with the pattern now that I have a good feel for it. I want to like actually have the ribbing be longer so I can like
Yep.
pull it down over my ears and fold it up. Probably do the twisty bits before starting to do the crown reduction. Do another round of that so I can have a deeper hat.
That's exactly what I did with the one that I just showed you. I made the ribbing longer and I did an extra repeat of the body pattern before the decreases.
Yeah, which I'm super into because I like having, I like oversized sweaters and I like hats that are a little bit too big so they come down over your eyebrows. You can fold them up and they're warm and cozy.
Yeah.
So I've been working on those and I've been working on scarves. I just finished a scarf for myself that I'm going to need to weave and block and everything. But this is going to be the matching hat.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
I love matching
Yeah.
sets so much. They make me so happy.
I haven't gotten to the point where I feel comfortable trying to start little mitts, but whenever I do, I'm gonna find some more of this and do that and that.
Excellent.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I then also picked up another of Greg's patterns that I haven't started yet.
Ooh.
I beat up my as I beat up my microphone. What was that one called? Thunder Twist.
Thunder Twist.
Yeah.
Yes. I always want to say Thundercats when I talk about it.
It
The
looks
Eye
really
of
cool.
Thundera going on.
My gym is obsessed with Thunderstruck, so that's
Excellent. It looks really cool, and it'll teach me stuff like cabling, which I haven't learned how to do yet. So
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
cables on those are simple cables, so easy to a good starter set for cables.
yeah, I was reading through it, and I looked up the stitches that I didn't recognize, and looked up little videos on them, and I
Mhm.
think I understand it, but we'll see. The proof will be in the pudding.
I didn't understand cables until the first time I did it. And a lot of the knitting, it has been like that for me. It's like I kind of understand it in my head at a very surface level, but I don't really understand it till my hands actually make the motions and do it.
I still don't understand most things, so
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I kind of understand the principle of it, but like I was working on my scarf while I was at an SCA event. My mind was wandering because it was 8 hours of SCA court, so there was a lot of talking happening while I was knitting, and then my mind wandered, being like, "But how does that work? How does it work where when it's knit one, purl one, knit, knit, knit? Why does it all have a pattern on one side?" So brain trying to figure out Now I know how to do it. Now I want to know why it works.
You're going to be designing patterns before you know it.
No, I don't have that kind
Yeah, you
of
will.
time.
Neither do I.
Exactly.
Here I am.
yeah.
Yep.
God's above.
There's plenty of things that I'm like, ooh, this would be a really cool pattern. I went, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, like a friend of mine sent me a pattern for something that had yarn color changes, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that. What are
Yet.
you thinking?
Yet.
No, that's true, and that's very much the sort of thing where it's like I'm not there yet, but I will be.
I'm the same way. I haven't learned how to do color changes yet.
Well, I know what we're doing at the next GooseCon. We're color changing.
There we
Well,
go.
just
no,
have
no,
like
no.
a knit con
the
where we
next-
just show up somewhere.
Yeah.
The next time we're at GooseCon, you're teaching me Magic Loop.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And then color will be in the year after.
Oh, no, color is
Color-
easy, though.
Color changing with Magic Loop.
No.
That sounds like a magic trick.
It does, doesn't it? I love it.
It is a magic trick. The fucking Magic Loop is insane.
Wait till I teach
I
you
mean-
a fish lips kiss heel.
What the fuck is that? Don't say words like that to me. That's
That's a
terrible.
fish. That's a
What
fish,
is
right?
this?
I know, right? No, that is my favorite heel for socks. So,
Sounds
Mine
like a
too.
fish.
well, since this is our first episode of the year, I just wanted to know: does anyone have any like knitting plans for the year? Any knitting related goals? Anything you want to accomplish? You want to finish? Oh, you want to finish that shawl, and that's what I didn't mention. So my shawl from the 2021 Advent calendar,
Oh no.
my needles broke. Like the cable came
Oh,
out of my
no.
needles.
That one.
Yeah, the cable came out of the needles halfway through the row, but because it's so friggin' huge, it was all bunched up, and I'm holding the needles, not the cable, so I didn't notice. And I was just knitting onto the needle, and they were falling off the end and not onto a cable. And I spent so long trying to pick it all back up, and I was so mad. I got them all, and you can't tell.
Good job.
But it sucked. And then I ran out of yarn again because I'm doing the colors and then a contrast of white in between.
Yeah.
I've gone through like 5 balls of the white, and I had to order more, so I have to stop. And wait
Danny,
for
I
Knit Picks to
think
send me more.
maybe you're done. Maybe you just bite
Look,
off
I
and you're
am
done.
on color 22 of 24.
Fuck
Finishing
you!
the damn thing.
Fuck you! I am so that.
Your audio completely cut out for a second there. That was
It's okay, but we
amazing.
all know what she said.
Yeah, we did. Your sound just self-censored. It was fine.
It was great. Mostly because it was hilarious.
Oh, I'm never gonna be done with this motherfucker.
But to be fair, while I was sick over Christmas, that is the only thing I worked on. I didn't
Okay,
have the
that's
energy
fair.
to get out of bed, but I brought my knitting with me, damn it. So
Yeah.
I brought my knitting with me on the cruise and then didn't knit, mainly because I was doing other things.
and that's what you should
Also-
do when you're on vacation.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Getting drunk on coconut drinks on the deck.
I
under the
wasn't
stars.
drunk. Listen.
Why not? I would be.
Mainly because I was with my parents and my little sister.
That
I
has
got
never
very
stopped
drunk
us.
I got very drunk with my little sister and my mom. What do you want about?
My dad is a teetotaler, basically.
Oh, that makes it a little less
Yeah.
easy.
You just drink his.
Exactly. More for everyone else.
But no, it was a fun time. We had a lot of rum punches.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
But aside from finishing the damn scarf, do you have any
Uh,
goals for the year?
I would like to finish other projects that I have started as well, but I have a feeling that it's over there. Like that's why I keep pointing. It's over there.
It's there taunting
That's gonna
you.
take priority.
Yep.
The nice thing is I now have like my winder, so at least when I go
That
to
helps.
wind the smaller skeins, they it's not like getting balled up or all that jazz. Though now I have to be careful because the cats will watch it and then jump at it.
Mm-hmm.
My cat will occasionally try to get the dangling end of yarn when I'm knitting. There was one time where he chewed right through the yarn as I was knitting, and I looked down and went, "You motherfucker, what are you doing?"
Molly does that. Molly has ruined 2 sets of needles.
They know better than to go after the needles, at least.
Well, mine were wooden. Oh, yours are wooden needles as well. Yeah.
Bamboo, but yeah.
So the first needles that Danny sent me, Molly was chewing on them. I didn't notice, and I went to knit, and I was like, "Why are these splintered?" And she like runs off, and I'm like, "You
Oh,
She knew. Oh my
She
goodness.
knew."
That's
Ah.
amazing.
As long like if she chews through the yarn, it's not that big of a deal because it's easy to pick it right back up. Yeah, you have to weave in more ends, but
Yeah.
like it's not that big of a deal.
but the needles are more.
But your
of a problem.
tools.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
tools are an issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my goal. Let's finish some shit this year. And I'm not buying any more yarn.
Ha!
I've said
Nope,
that
not
so many
doing-
times.
I'm not buying any more yarn. I have enough. I have enough projects I want to do. No mas.
Oh, see, the problem is that you learned about knitting from me. So you may have learned some of my poor habits.
No. I've been very good about not buying yarn.
So when you do the I'm not going to buy any more yarn, you do realize if you're on vacation and you find yarn
It
that
doesn't
you
count.
really like, that doesn't count. Souvenir yarn doesn't count.
Okay, well that's fair.
I
If you-
seriously, because I wandered into a crafting store in Strasbourg. I had to stop and think about which city that was in, and there was yarn, and I considered it, but I was like, I do not speak this language at all. I will just make an idiot of myself.
I should have told you about Woolmiza before you left
Oh,
because
yeah.
that is fan-friggin-tastic yarn. That is
Oh, yeah?
not easy, not really common to get here, but is just insane to work with.
We just have to go back and get some.
Oh, God.
Hopefully
Oh
they
no!
don't.
So,
Oh,
in
no.
addition to souvenir yarn not counting, if you see yarn that would perfectly match a pattern that you can cast on within 48 hours of purchasing the yarn, that also doesn't count.
As long as you're working through the stash as you are creating it, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
I am not buying any more yarn.
Oh, I see. We need to send her yarn. Got it.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, right. Yeah. Right.
Well, it was about time for me to go through and do a D-stash anyway, so, you know.
Shit. This
Wait,
dresser behind me is full of yarn. I don't need more yarn.
But that's such
Danny,
a tiny container.
That's what I call the auxiliary yarn storage unit.
I've got about that much yarn in my living room.
Danny, if you come across any yarn in your D stash that just screams Ren, please send it my direction. I will happily turn it into something.
I will. In fact, I have a skein. That I was looking to rehome that you might enjoy.
Oh yeah?
It's some whimsy stitches.
This is very dangerous. What Danny is doing right here is a dangerous deed.
It is an act of love.
Oh,
Yeah.
dangerous.
I have it upstairs. Maybe I'll try to remember to grab it when we take our break.
You have you have you have it upstairs. I thought you said I have an upstairs. I was like,
Yes, Danny, good job.
Good for you.
as opposed to what exactly?
The abyss.
But no, I spun some yarn that I want to send you, Ren. That
Ooh.
is perfectly colored for you, I believe, and it is a loop bat, or it came from a loop bat. So it's a bullseye. It was a bullseye gradient that I spun.
Ooh.
And it covers a whole bunch of different colors. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to try to remember to bring
Danny
that down.
tried to get me
That's
to spin
exciting.
yarn. I gave up and gave it back to her and went, will you spin this for me? Because I can't. My brain don't work. It's really hard to spin when you don't know your left from your right.
I know the basics of spinning. I've done a little bit of drop spindle spinning. I am not good at it.
It's just a thing that takes practice, and
My brain was
and you
like,
have to be willing to have that first couple things of yarn that are art yarn.
Art yarn.
Art, yes.
But art yarn makes great hats. So
Yeah, and the funny thing about that is that then when you become a good spinner, so I've heard, because I haven't reached this level yet, if you try to recreate that art yarn, you can't, because you're too good to get it inconsistent.
yeah,
And so you have to find people who have spun a lot of art yarn that are willing to part with it if you want that to make, like you were saying, Dana,
Yeah.
they make great hats, and stuff like that.
yeah.
Well, I appreciate the fact that Danny was like, it's okay if you want to give up on this. And I was like,
yeah.
yeah.
Aw.
And
It is
I would
100%
love
okay.
I would love to come back to it eventually.
Mhm.
But like there's so many projects that aren't done as is. So like I
Well-
was like, that's just sitting in a bag. And now I don't remember how to do it.
Next time we're in the same place at the same time, I can bring. I got an electric mini spinning wheel,
Oh.
and I can bring that, and you can play with that. Because yeah,
I have a question.
yes,
How many spinning wheels are in your house?
2.
And have you pricked your
Two?
finger on any spindles?
They don't have the kind of spindles that you can prick on.
Okay, how many drop spindles do you have as well?
Oh,
Now you hit her where it hurt.
okay, so I have the one really gorgeous one that I paid out the wazoo for. A turtle one that is gorgeous. I have another one that I purchased. I think I've got about 7 or 8.
Are you including the one I gave back to you?
Yes. But that's the thing is
Okay.
I can 3D print them. And so
Yeah.
sometimes I misplace them and I just print myself another one. So
Oh, damn.
This is where technology has led us back into making the tools for handcrafting.
yeah,
Awesome.
that's the way my life works.
Oh
I lose
God,
a
I
thing, I
fucking
just make
love
another
it.
one, it's fine. And then I find it, and then I just have an extra.
Yeah.
But I give them away.
Until they're 7 or 8.
But I tend to give away the 3D printed ones. Like
She
one of my
does.
friends came over with her daughter, who is 10, and she saw the big spinning wheel and really wanted to play with it. And I said, well, I'm in the middle of some yarn, so I can't let you play with this one, sweetie. But I can give you your very own drop spindle. And I got it started for her and showed her how to do it. And she spent the rest of the visit just playing with her drop spindle and took it home, and like, that works. So
I
give
love
them
it.
away.
Danny's getting children to spin yarn for her. That's what we've just learned. She's outsourcing the spinning to
Sounds like-
children.
I mean, it's like playing
Checks out.
it's like paying kids to pick all of the dandelions out of your yard.
Sounds like witch behavior to me, but
I mean, I didn't say it wasn't.
True enough, true enough. Does anyone else
I do
have
lo-
knitting plans or goals for the year?
Get good.
That's a good one.
You'll get there, Ernest. You will.
And honestly, you're probably better than you feel like you are.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
We are always our own worst critics, and even now I'll be halfway through something and be like, why am I knitting that? That looks terrible. And then I'll finish it, and I've learned the magic of washing and blocking, and suddenly it looks way better than I thought it did. So
Yeah.
I have a handful of designs that are up here that I want to put. I'm pointing at the computer now.
Yeah.
Want to put right there.
Yeah.
And I've even got samples for 2 or 3 of them.
oh wow.
And so it's a matter of I just got to write the shit down
Yeah.
and get it tested and all the other
All
stuff.
the other
But
stuff
yeah,
that goes with it.
that's I'll be knitting throughout the whole year, just off whatever crosses my plate. But my intentional goal is to clear my head of patterns so that I can, because I'm about out of room in my head for patterns. So I need to get them on paper so that I can put more in there and
Yep.
lather, rinse, repeat.
What about you, Danny? Is it to finish your Ding Dang Shaw as well?
It is to finish in general. So
Ah.
at the end of the year, in that weird between Christmas and New Year's, I sat down and I updated all my stuff on Ravelry. And according to that, and I've got a couple of projects that aren't in there because they're like a pile of socks for my nieces that is just sort of an ongoing thing, or the preemie hats because that's just an ongoing thing. But just in Ravelry, I have 22 works in progress.
Oh shit.
So my goal
Wow.
is to finish some things.
Same.
I picked up again my green screen blanket. I don't know if DB and Ren remember that. When I was
do.
streaming from upstairs
Yeah.
and sitting in the recliner, I started knitting a blanket that I was going to put on the back of the recliner so that the recliner would blend in with my green screen.
Yes.
I
never
remember
finished
that.
I sort of just put it in a bag and forgot about it because I started recording in the basement. And I
Yeah.
pulled that back out. I'm like, I'm going to finish this thing. And I'm like one skein of yarn, one giant skein away from being done finally. So
That's amazing.
I want to finish that. That's my first one on the list. I've got socks for my mom. I've got the Star Wars sock saga set of socks that I want to eventually get through. I have like another dozen skeins to go with that one. So that's like 24 more socks, or 24 more pairs of socks. So that may not get done this year. I've started another sweater for Ren.
I love that.
I live in a colder climate. I am more than happy to wear sweaters around. And oh my god, when my luggage got lost, no. Danny's sweaters were in my carry-on because I didn't trust TSA with them.
Thank fuck. Because
They literally saved my life because I was in Europe and cold and having to buy stuff, but at least I had these sweaters to be like,
They were real wool, so they'll keep you actually warm.
I was so worried that you were about to tell me that they were in your checked luggage, and I was
Nope.
like, fuck.
Nope,
Because-
I didn't trust TSA. There's a couple of things that when I travel with them, they travel in my carry-on. My stuffed daughter is one of them because I would be devastated if he was lost.
Mm-hmm.
And Danny's sweaters are very much in that pile,
Your
which were the only article of clothing that was in my carry-on.
Did you say your stuffed daughter?
Otter.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, DB.
yeah,
I heard the
Okay.
same thing.
Okay,
Otter.
and then you said he, and I was like, hey, gender norms, whatever, out the door. But did I
was very
hear
confused.
daughter correctly?
No, I have
Otter.
a stuffed otter that I have had for over a decade at this point that I sleep with,
Right.
and it travels
Yeah.
with me.
No, that is fair. I was just like, wait a minute. No, I'm so glad that you had those in your carry-on.
Me
man.
too, because oh man, if I didn't, it was going to be
Oh,
the
that
long
was
sleeve shirt that I was traveling in, and that'd be about it.
Ugh.
I was pretty sure they were gonna lose my luggage in Newark.
Newark is just bad. PSA to anyone traveling, don't fucking go through Newark.
Don't do it.
I don't care if it costs more. Go to a different airport.
Yeah.
Newark is just bad.
All right.
Is that where they lost your luggage?
Yes.
Yeah. Fucking Newark. So, sorry, I'm going to go off on a little tangent about this damned airport.
Do it.
So,
The only difference is you're apologizing first this time.
Thanks, Greg.
I missed you.
I missed you too. So Newark, we were flying from Orlando to Newark. We were supposed to have like an hour and a half layover, and we were supposed to get to Terminal A, which opened that day, over to Terminal C.
Mhm.
I'm on the plane, and I check the United app, and United's like, delayed by 2 hours. And I'm like, fuck, okay. And I was like, hey, Mom, who's sitting in front of me, did you see that we had a delay? And she's like, dear God, no, I didn't, but it's fine. And they moved our terminal, and we were no longer in Terminal A. We were going to be flying out of we weren't flying out of Terminal C. We were going to be flying out of Terminal A. Perfect. So we're all hanging out, but like we're sitting there going, I really hope they don't lose our luggage. Thankfully they didn't, but
They even like made kind of an effort in the Newark airport to be like, oh, we don't want to get your luggage lost. So, these 8 people, we're calling your name, come up to the desk. We're going to confirm your baggage tag against against a list that we have. And they still lost it. I did get it back. It was 5 days later when it was delivered to my hotel in Strasbourg.
At least you got it before your return trip.
At least I got it.
yeah.
Which was good.
Could you imagine if like you flew into Newark and you just found your bag there?
I was actually
I
Yeah.
would have been so pissed. But sorry, go ahead, Danny.
I did a trip home for Christmas several years ago, and my luggage did not make it to Canada. My luggage went to Peru on its own vacation, and I got it back a week after I got home from my trip.
Jeez.
The good news is that I was visiting family, and my sister and I are close enough that I just wore her clothes the whole time. Like I went and bought like socks and underwear because that would have been a little bit
That would have been weird, yeah.
sharing. But like I wore her jeans and her sweats and her shirts. And, like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and that was because I was traveling with my sister, and she and I are similar enough in build that I could get away with stuff. So, but she was also traveling. We were not at her house yet. So like we only had what she had in her bag and the things that I bought. I'm currently working my way through the bureaucratic nightmare that is, hi, you lost my luggage, pay me.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always fun. And yes, I am going to be becoming more annoying if I don't hear anything soon, because they have been pretty good about keeping me like, oh, okay, we need this much, we need this information from you. So they haven't gone completely silent like the other people that I'm bitching at.
That owes you money.
That's okay. A bored lawyer with 2 broken contracts in hand is meeting with people.
Ooh.
Is worth one in the bush. Like that's what I felt like you were about to say. Okay, one more thing about the Newark airport, and then we can move on. This terminal is so new that when they were unloading people off of their planes, the fire alarm at their doors would go off.
That's magical.
Yep.
Oh, it was awful. We're like,
there were also just no signs that were leading from where my plane was unloading, coming from SFO into Newark to the one going to Paris. Like we didn't know that there was a delay. We hadn't been told that there was going to be delay. There was. We were delayed another hour in leaving.
Jesus.
Yeah, we had already arrived in Newark like 2 hours late because our flight there was delayed. Everything that could go wrong tried to.
yeah. My dad whacked his head so hard on the plane that he started bleeding. And he was wearing a ball cap and everything. So I was like,
wow.
Yeah. And they were like, are you, it's like, hey, can I get something? I'm bleeding. And she's like, oh my God. And they were talking about calling paramedics. Like, and my dad's like, no, I'm fine. I just need something to stop the bleeding.
They needed to have someone say, is there a doctor on the plane? Is there a doctor on the plane?
Because head wounds and scalp wounds in particular
They
bleed
just-
like a
yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah, and they were trying to they're very nice about it. They're like, hey, do we need to get paramedics when we get to Cleveland to make sure you're okay? My dad's like, no, I'm fine. They're asking him if it hurt. He's like, no, it's just bleeding. And then the next day he was like, that hurts a little bit. And we're like, yeah.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, and I'm
It's
like,
a flesh wound.
I'm just sitting there going, you were wearing a ball cap. How did this happen? Good times.
Well, as far as any goals that I have for knitting for this upcoming year, I want to try some bigger projects. So, I've gotten reasonably okay at things like hats and scarves, which are reasonably easy. I want to try a sweater.
I have so many suggestions for you when you're ready for that.
If you have something that is like relatively easy with like maybe 3 new things that I have to learn, I can.
Yeah.
That's about where I can handle.
I do.
Are you thinking about the harvest one that you told me about, Danny?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I have.
That is definitely one of them.
I have a lot of tin can knits. I have
Yeah.
Tin can knits
flax.
is a
Can't go
great
wrong with
place to
that.
start.
Yeah.
I have flax. I have
yeah.
oats. What are the other ones that I have? Wheat.
You have all the grains.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh yeah.
Starting a farm over there.
I mean, it's been raining enough lately. We could certainly do it.
Ugh.
But yeah, I want to make a sweater, and I want to make one of the portable dice holes
Yeah.
Yes.
because I think that's funny. And I mean, I was looking up at how I store my dice when Danny was describing like her
gorgeous.
amphitheater. Here, I don't have everything all set up yet, so I'll just show. I've got a bunch of like alchemist jars
I love
full
that
of
so
dice,
much.
which is fun, and I've been enjoying that. It is very like whimsical.
I got a sack.
I got a sack.
I got a sack.
I'm going to be putting mini dice into this one
Nice.
because it's
The
the hole's too
small.
small for normal dice. But I can get a bunch of mini dice and put them in there.
Yeah.
Ernest and I are on the same page. I have a sack.
I do too. I have several
Matter
of
of
them.
fact, my dice and my partner's dice are in the same sack. Like it just like
Ooh.
In the sack with your partner. All right.
yeah.
You know,
my girlfriend and I have too many dice that our dice cannot live in the same sack.
Well,
yeah.
You need a bigger sack.
I have too many dice. There's no room for my partner's dice.
Well, I have some dice, and then my partner has some dice, and then every time I try to buy some dice, my partner's like, "Ernest, do you need those dice?" And I go very emphatically, "Yes." And then they go, "I don't know about that." And I'm like,
Grumble.
I don't understand how Jim hasn't bought dice in ages. Like he still has his Crown Royal bag. And
you know,
I mean, respect that he's been playing with the same
Yeah.
dice for like 20 something years, but
Oh man. So on the dice tangent, when we were going through the game cabinet here at the house, a game cabinet that I'm convinced hasn't been touched in like 30 years, going by the layers of dust that were on the games, we found dice. And some of them were like the old D20s that had different color that didn't have any number over 9. It was 0 through 9. And you color the different sides for high and low. And I was just like, I've heard of these. I've seen these before, but I've never actually. And I was like, I need this. I need this, please. If
Did
you're
they
getting
give
rid
it
of
to
these,
you?
yes.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Michael were gently negotiating about who was going to take custody of which dice, because Michael also plays D&D, but he knows that I'm the dice goblin, dragon,
Yes.
whatever I am.
You're somewhere in between Danny and I feel like.
Kind of, because I don't have them as well organized as Danny does, but I am a little bit particular about them.
You have
Every
them more
time I-
displayed than I do.
Every time my girlfriend makes a new character, I make her a dice bag.
Oh,
I
So,
love that.
like, she has 2 dice bags now. Her dice bag for Strahd was falling apart, and it was just like one of those cheap, like, ones that you get. And she was like, "Hey, I could really use a dice bag," and I went, "I got you,
gotcha.
girly." And then I'm She hasn't requested another one yet, but that doesn't mean that she won't.
Or that she won't just randomly get one.
It's true. It's true. I make dice bags randomly for people, which I'm shocked because I had one for you, Tiana. I don't know where it went. I'm assuming it got lost in the mail.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, 100 years ago. Because I was like, didn't I make one for you? And you're like, nope. And I was like, no, I did. Where did it go?
Aw.
I could not tell you.
I know. It wasn't you. I'm pretty sure it's one of those things that I put it in the mail and then forgot about it, and now it's gone forever.
I would
Yeah,
just like to
well-
take this opportunity to insert a joke about a hole. just hole.
Yep. And on that note, I think we're going to go ahead and take our break. Otherwise, we're not going to have any time for actually playing the game tonight. Apparently, it's been a while since we've all got together and chatted about stuff. So,
Well, and I was going to say, like, when I got back from Europe, like, we didn't go back to recording redacted reports immediately because it was like we have to get the sillies out first. So we sat and played Jackbox games, which was
Oh,
good because we got the sillies out.
yeah. Well, I feel like we've gotten a lot of good chit chat out. So,
This group in an Airbnb would be insanity.
It'd be
decided.
wonderful.
Yeah.
We need to just put together a KnitCon, and because Goosehound's too far away.
It is.
yeah.
But like too far away as in the time of the year kind of thing, or too far away as in driving?
Too far away is in the time of year.
Okay. Because I was sitting here going, it's gonna still be pretty far for some of our people.
Well, I mean, we could find somewhere that's in between and rent like an Airbnb.
That is
we
fair.
shall
could
make
do that.
plans. But in the meantime, we're going to take our brief break so that we can get all of our recording stuff in place. I can take these poor dogs outside so they stop. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing something.
They're learning how to knit.
oh man, if I could get the dogs knitting or spinning for me, that'd be great.
JD would open an Etsy shop at that point because all the projects would be done.
Yeah.
Premium witch stuff right there. Like,
Yep. Not denying it anymore. All
Not
right.
No,
rich on
no.
life.
Well, we will be back in about 10 minutes or so. So hang out, folks, and we will see you again shortly. And we're back. And if you didn't read the chat, we have made the decision that we're not going to play because we got really chatty today, and
We talked a lot.
We did. We have a
And we've
hard
only got
end
like a
time.
half hour left.
Yeah, so we're going to just keep chatting instead of doing like a half hour of game because that just feels sad. But
Yeah.
that means that in 2 weeks' time, when we're back, hopefully E will be with us. So we'll have the whole gang and we'll be able to play, and I'm really excited about
Oh, that would be
prospect.
amazing.
I know, right? It'll be super exciting.
'Cause I don't think we've ever had the whole gang
We
play
have not
together.
had
There's
all
always been
6 of us.
someone missing.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
we've had people together.
We haven't
except-
had all 6.
Before me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've had the whole gang before me, but since I've been in here, I've always scared at least one person off. So
It's the dad jokes channel, man.
that's the dad joke channel. Yeah, we need to get more people to come join our Discord
In
so that-
fact, I'm going to
so that
pop
they
a
can
link.
come enjoy all of these dad jokes that are out there.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah. I also did want to say that during the break, I took the opportunity to go over and get one of my pens, my like enamel pens. I like to collect enamel pens. Based on something that we talked about before, I have this delightful enamel pen that is like the Danish cookies
Put your hand
enamel
behind it.
pen.
Yes, the cookies, the cookie tin.
Let's see. Yeah, I have to kind of hold it back here by my face, but it opens up and there's scissors
so
and
cute.
embroidery thread and
I love
sewing
that so much.
equipment inside of the Danish cookie tin.
That is the best.
Perfect.
Oh, I love that.
It's delightful.
And I did go upstairs and get the yarn that I promised.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So it's got
Wow.
teals and forest greens and emerald greens and some black, and it's got sparkle in there, and it's got sort of a more I don't know, olivey green, but they're in, it'll be self-striping basically, but
Okay.
big chunks of
remember-
stripes. So
I think I remembered you sending me pictures of this one
yeah,
because it's very pretty.
yeah, and so it is about a fingering weight. So it's thinner than what you've been working with, but I think you'll have no problem with it. You'll just need to go with slightly smaller needles. But it would be great for a shawl or a long scarf.
Oh my gosh.
So
That is amazing. Thank you.
This is- I'll even, you don't have a ball winder, so I will cake it up for you. So you can easily just start with it whenever you're ready. And that's going into your package. Your package is getting bigger. That's fine. I've got a big box.
You're gonna have
no.
you're gonna have a container truck show up. Someone's gonna have a foreman. He's gonna have a big old hard hat.
Yeah.
He's like, I got a crane. I gotta take it off of the flatbed.
Oh,
Dump it
Yeah.
out. I've got a permit. It can only stay here for 3 days. You got to unload it before.
as I realize that I've got a pattern that I haven't done in years, but I think I've still got the kit kicking around, of cat toys that you fill with catnip. I might send you some cat toys for your babies.
My cats are catnip fiends. They will love it.
Excellent, excellent. One more thing to add to the package. Oh darn!
Oh dear.
Well, because I did,
How sad.
I did 3D print you several nameplate holders that I'm very
Oh,
excited to send.
yes,
Well, I
yes.
mean, not you, but the
The studio.
studio folks. But I'm sending them to you because I know you'll take good care of them.
Yes, I will. I will make sure that they get where they need to be.
And then there's a sweater, and the yarn, and maybe a tank top. You know, I'm super excited about that one. I think you're gonna.
It's a
enjoy
whole
it.
it's a whole care package. I'm very excited.
The only thing that's missing is like chocolate. Although I suppose it's the time of year that I could send chocolate.
Danny's gonna send you chocolate. You're gonna
There's
get a
probably
whole
gonna be
care
chocolate in there.
package.
It'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Canadian chocolate.
Mm, yum.
I don't have a whole lot of that left. I ate most of it.
Well, yeah, because it's
Because it's
Canadian chocolate.
Yeah.
So I started poking around randomly because you were talking about patterns that represent characters, and I was like, I wonder what I would do for Assault.
Mhm.
But then my brain wandered away to my Twilight Domain cleric Keladrin. I was like, oh no, is there like a shawl that does the night sky?
There is. Oh my
It's
god.
called Celestarium.
I
Something
think
like
I
that.
might
It
be
is.
looking at it by Audrey Nicklin.
It is
That
massive
sounds familiar.
and beaded,
Yeah, you should do
and
beads
it
with
has
it
all the
if you do it.
constellations in it.
That
And
it is the one that I'm looking at.
yeah, it is. It is an epic project, and so many knitters do that as like their magnum opus.
huge.
Yes.
It's huge. I don't think I'd be able to do it.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
you
can.
can.
It would
One
just take
stitch at a
time.
time.
Yep.
Okay.
One stitch at a time.
And
And
that's the
one
thing.
bead placement at a time.
And beads
But, like,
are not
I'm-
as hard as you would think.
Okay. Because I mean, she's my Twilight Domain cleric, and we're about to wrap that story. And yeah, I'm very sad. I'm very sad to be wrapping that story because it's been good, but you know, all stories come to an end eventually. I have also always been very connected to the night sky because I grew up in Alaska and I grew up 10 miles out of town.
Yep.
So I would, lay in my bed at night in the middle of winter and look out as the northern lights swept across the Big Dipper directly over me.
Yeah.
It's a tough life.
It was very cold
That is
because
one
the
of
night,
things- Go ahead.
yeah, well, because the nights that the northern lights show the best, it's like 40 fucking below.
Yep.
Right.
That is one of the things I miss most being in the South now is not seeing the northern lights in the winter. 'Cause that was
I post a lot of pictures that a professional photographer in Fairbanks takes. If you see my post from Todd Paris, he is a professional photographer in the area, and his pictures are always just gorgeous.
and it was great. My parents had a hot tub for years, and so we would get in the hot tub in the middle of winter. It would be 40 below, and we'd be outside in the middle of the night, like up to here in the water, just looking up at the sky. It was fantastic.
I think I am going to get this pattern.
Do
'cause
it.
I think you should.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Totally do it.
beautiful.
It doesn't even look really that hard.
No,
It's just big, I think. Yeah.
Can you send
I
me
mean, I
the
say
link to
this
this so
having-
I can see it too, Tiana?
Yeah, hang on.
Thank you so much. 'cause
I'll
people are
drop it in.
shopping.
I'll drop it in our Discord in one of the big
you.
text channels.
And I will also copy and paste it into our chat here because I can do
Holy
that now.
fuck!
Whoa.
Oh my god!
Isn't that
Yeah.
beautiful?
Yeah.
It
I
doesn't
love-
even look like a shawl. It looks like a blanket.
Kind of.
Yep.
It's a big circle.
I love that she's got a whole family of them. She's got a version of the Southern Skies, and then she's got like a scarf type of thing.
Equatorial
that's
nights.
The equator, yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to get this because this is really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
What's
have to buy
really
my
fun
own.
is to
Damn
find
it.
the perfect yarn for it, and
Oh.
because you get just the right. I've never knitted this myself, but I've seen so many people who have, and you find the right perfect gradient of like blues and darkness and stuff like that, and then have so much fun looking for the perfect beads to put on it, because you can get the clear beads, and so they'll just kind of sparkle a bit, or you can get something that's opaque.
Yeah.
You have a lifetime of enjoyment in front of you here.
Yeah. And the best part is if you can't find the perfect colored yarn, next time I come visit you, I will bring supplies and I'll teach you how to dye your own yarn.
Ooh.
That is
Oh,
a dangerous
Danny.
hobby to get into, but I
Yes.
love it.
I'm here for this.
I have so many little jars of powdered dye. I do it in our porch so that it's not getting the particles of dye everywhere, and you wear
Sure.
a mask because the
yeah,
particles get
obviously.
everywhere. But once it's dissolved, you don't have to wear the mask anymore. And I've made some really cool stuff, like hand painted yarns. My mom and I did Christmas socks one year. We dyed yarn together, and I knit her Christmas socks out
man.
of them. Oh yeah, So
I
many
think
things that we can
this-
do.
I think this is definitely a
This is
maker
really
that I'm
cool.
going to follow.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to take forever. This might be my year project.
And that is fine.
Fine, you got the time. Pick it up
Do
bit by
I?
bit.
Oh
You have lots of time.
my god! I think I want to make the southern.
The Southern Sky.
Yeah, because like that's more the sky that I'm used to as well.
Hmm. So,
Son of a bitch.
so you did
Sorry.
mention that we were talking about, patterns inspired by our characters. And I gotta say
Yes.
that while I would love to incorporate a hole somehow for Erasmus, I can't. I don't know how to knit a hole.
Knit a really long stocking cap that doesn't close all the way at the top,
And it's just.
and then you just like you peer in from one side and you hold it down the other, and it's a long
big, long
hole that can hold all kinds of things.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually just a box of donut holes.
I'm kind
don't
of leaning
know.
towards, though, a hat of multiple textures and colors.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That
Especially
would
with
make
some
sense as
bubbles.
well, because like his hat that he wears
Mhm.
is a not finished and just a knot on the top of it because his yarn knotted up. So it would make a really good like hat for him. I love that.
Oh dear.
Yeah. That's one of the dangers of knitting, and then starting to design your own stuff and having.
Well, because I had
That's
I
not
had
a
been-
danger. It's not a
I
danger.
actually had been thinking, if I were to make a night sky shawl where it's more like the traditional triangular thing, how would I do it? And I was thinking it would be like, the knit one, purl one thing to just make a little bit of step out.
Mhm.
So it would be subtle, unless you want to do it in a different color, which is also a possibility, I suppose. So it would be like white against a dark blue or something. But this looks
I'm gonna tell you
A circle with beads.
Tiana. I'm gonna tell you a little secret. That's how I started thinking before I suddenly fell into designing.
no.
It's one of those you think, oh, I love this pattern, and if I just did this instead, and next thing you know, you're modifying patterns and like putting different textures in places because you like that better, and then
That's
well, I don't need to buy a pattern because I know how my body is shaped, and I can make it the way that I want it to, and I want a hat that does this, and I can't find one, so I'm just going to do it myself.
yeah,
Just
see
saying.
how like all the dice bags that I've done have changed over
Mhm.
the years because I was like, oh, I wonder if there's a way I could do this, and Danny goes, yes, there is, and this is how designers talk, and I went, no, no, no.
Yeah.
And I have not changed patterns since then. So
Aw.
This is the year to do it. You got to
no,
change.
it's not. This is the year to finish projects. Next year will be the year to do it.
Okay.
And I'm going to hold you to that.
But it's interesting for me because I've been in the SCA at this point for 15 years. I have never found a craft that I've been good at.
Oh.
And yeah, you've got to suck at things before you can be good at them. Fine, but I'm not good at sticking with things through the suck because I'm not motivated enough. I don't care enough.
Oh, ADHD.
I don't know if I have ADHD, but it's not impossible at this point. But then I was like, I kept hearing you guys talking about all of your knitting projects and seeing the results of things and being like, I know how to knit. I just need to learn how to do a couple more steps. So finally I was just like, I want to make something for someone. That's how I'm going to finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told Danny very early that I was not going to learn how to knit. I wasn't going to do it.
Wrong.
I
Wrong.
wasn't going to do it. And then she's like, but we can do this for this thing for that's pretty crafty. And I went, fine. Now
And
look at where we are.
so it began.
Yep.
She's a witch.
I mean, we knew that.
Yeah, we've
I
known
mean,
that for a
you know,
while.
But I'm a good witch, so it's okay.
Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
I mean, obviously she's pretty, so she's a good witch. That's how that works, isn't it?
That is such like a crazy statement. And then you go to like watch or listen to Wicked, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
Linda, you're a bitch.
Oh, Glinda's horrible.
Mhm.
Like the only reason that she became a good person was because of Elphaba, and even then it was a self-serving kind of good.
Yeah.
No, it was very fully a like tongue-in-cheek reference to Wizard of Oz, where because I think that they actually say something very similar to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh God. Here's a thing on the list of Tiana's watching habits are weird.
Yes.
I have seen The Wizard of Oz multiple times, many, many times.
Mhm.
I have never heard it.
How does that work?
So,
Everyone
you
did the head
watch
tilt. I love
movie
it.
On
Are-
mute?
Like
Are,
it's in the
are you
background,
listening to
or-
Pink Floyd?
So here's the thing. I worked at Barnes & Noble for several years in
Okay.
Fairbanks, and we had a whole, they probably still do, I haven't been there in a while, but they have a whole music and DVD department, and there's a big television on one of the walls where they show whatever the like big release of on a DVD that month is. And Cloud with a Chance of Meatballs 2, I have seen multiple times, but the volume isn't on because there's in-store music playing. And the same around the same time, the 75th anniversary edition of
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz came out. So I've seen it many times.
Mm.
I have never heard it. I have no idea what anyone's voice sounds like, except the Wicked Witch, because everyone has heard that clip.
Right. Interesting. That's fun.
Yeah. My viewing habits are very odd, and I know this.
It's like I don't know what to do with this information.
The
It's just
thing is
there.
that you have a very long list of things that people have told you to watch. And oh, look, you even have it written down. Good, because DB and I have this, stream where we talk about stuff that people are into, and we need ideas. So that is a lot of list. Wow.
Those are a lot of pages.
Wow. Yeah, we can
Okay,
keep going for years. Cool.
Let's play a game. What is the fifth thing on the third page?
Third page, 1, 2, 3, 4. The producers.
Oh,
that's a good one. Yeah,
now
you
the
gotta watch it.
question
Yeah, you
is
should see
which
that.
version? Or just all of
Uh,
them?
Well, the producer's the one with what is his name? Willy Wonka, Gene Wilder.
Okay.
Oh, it's okay. I definitely prefer the musical version.
Isn't that the one with Gene Wilder?
No,
That
that
is
is
the
not the
original.
musical one. That's the original. Then in 2005, they made a musical with Nathan Lane, Matthew Broderick,
Broderick.
and
Yeah.
Uma Thurman.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a very good musical. And they are amazing together.
Okay. I've started doing a thing where I watch one movie every week and I read one book every week because I fell out of the habit of reading, and I used to be able to tear through like Stephen King novels in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So, and because I worked in the music and DVD department of Barnes and Noble, I have like stacks of DVDs that I would pick
Good.
up because they looked interesting that I've
Yeah.
never watched. So like the options for this week that I'm still choosing between are Good Night and Good Luck, Children of Men, Brokeback Mountain, and Children of a Lesser God.
Children of a Lesser God.
Oh,
Okay.
Got a
Okay.
suggestion.
It's got Marley Matlin in it, right?
well, yeah, Marley Matlin.
Yeah, it's a delightful movie.
Well, and I also speak
They're
a
all
little
good. All
bit.
four of them are good. But yeah, there you go.
I also speak a little bit of sign language, so like that is my inclination. But also like I've heard good things recently about Good Night and Good Luck because why did I hear about it? Oh, it was in a video about Rent talking about was it Rent? I don't remember. I've been watching a lot of Lindsay Ellis lately. Talking about dealing with systemic racism by treating it as things that a few idiots do instead of being like systemic. So it was the year that Crash won over Good Night and Good Luck.
I have not heard of any of those movies except for Brokeback Mountain.
Children of a Lesser God is what's the reference? John teaches at a school for the deaf. Sarah used to be the school's brightest student, although she refused to read lips, and is now employed as its custodian. John immediately falls for the beautiful and stubborn Sarah, but soon realizes he must get past her anger in order to reach her heart. So it's all about, from what I understand, haven't seen it, but it's all about, where the deaf community and how it interfaces with the hearing world, and how, the deaf community is a very unusual one, because it's not like, hearing parents can have a deaf child, two deaf parents can have a hearing child. Mm-hmm. And where does your community come from in that instance? Because it's not like people who are bound together by the same religion or skin color or national background or whatever.
Right.
Like, it is a very unusual community in that respect.
Yeah.
So
my company had a diversity and inclusion conference last year, and Marlee Matlin was the keynote speaker on one of the days. And I've always been a fan. I've seen her movies. I liked her on TV and everything. But it was so fun to hear her talk, like, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Hear her interpreter talk, but or whatnot. Just like, as a person, not as a character that I've seen in movies and television and everything. And she's hilarious and had so much great things to say. So anyway, so Children of Lesser God is at the top of my list just because I've heard her recently.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a thing, because it is a running joke over on the QNC channel that if you ask if I have seen something, the answer is probably no.
No.
You and my girlfriend.
That's all right. My partner gets to kind of roll her eyes at me because she's seen many more things than I have, including some of the really obscure Broadway musicals where I'm like, shrugs forever.
So what I'm learning is we need to have a double date. So that me and your partner can roll our eyes at you and my partner.
There we go.
Love it.
Oh. That's all right. I've been seeing a lot more theater since we started dating, so it's been very, very excellent and very educational. We're gonna be going and seeing Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812.
Ooh, nice.
Which I'm very excited about.
I grew up in a theater house, so I know a lot of random stuff.
I grew up. Well, I didn't grow up. I was 18 when I started doing community theater, so I know some stuff, but community theater
is different. It's different.
It hits different.
Yeah. So my dad is the president of a community theater here in Ohio, and my sister went to school for theater, so it's like surrounded. And my dad would love for me to be in the theater, but I'm like, I had a bad experience with It's Not Such a Wonderful Life, and I refuse to ever be in the theater again.
That's fair. Okay. I miss theater, but I do so much acting with live streams and stuff that scratches that itch pretty nicely.
Yeah, I get my creativity out a lot with what we do from the comfort of my home.
Yep. Well, it's also nice. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Well, it's also nice because we have a lot of very talented working actors in the studio. So Laura is in a lot of stage productions. James is in a lot of stage productions. So we try to go and see those. I haven't gotten to see as many of them as I've wanted. But he went to Oklahoma to be in the production of The Great Leap or whatever it was. About being an Asian American kid who goes back to China back to his family's homeland to try and reconnect with lost family members, but only makes it there because he plays basketball. Mm-hmm. Of course it's a fraud because, stories always have to have tension, right?
Of course.
Always.
Sorry, I'm monopolizing the conversation. My apologies.
No, absolutely not.
It's interesting. And I'm also wondering if we should make this a regular feature where we randomly pick something off of your list and opine.
Well, the other thing that we can do, since we are all about knitting, is find movies that have knitting sort of feature in them and talk about that too. Like,
I only know one movie,
Okay,
Danny,
so-
and that's A Castle for
A
Christmas.
Castle for Christmas,
and that was
has
an
knitting in it. It is a
an
ridiculous
amazing
movie. I
movie.
love it. But things like Knives Out, because
I say
that sweater.
I watched
sexually-
Such a
Knives Out.
good
that
movie.
sweater.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen the movie, but I've seen that sweater everywhere.
That
Right. So
Danny?
my wife is a fan of the movie, and she was going to watch it because the new one came out. You know,
Yes.
the
Glass
Glass Onion
Onion,
one
yes.
came out.
Yeah,
And she asked if I wanted to watch it with her. I said, yeah. She asked if I'd seen the first one. I said, no. She said, so, well, that's fine. I'll watch it again. We'll watch that one. And we watched both of them like back-to-back nights. It's great. You will enjoy them.
They're
And it's a
both very good.
Yeah.
The way the way that Knives Out was sold to me when I went and saw it in theaters was Agatha Christie, but not written by her.
Oh, okay.
It is
Fair.
sharply satirical. It is brilliantly well written. And Chris Evans looks amazing in that sweater.
Yeah. I'm thinking we need to.
It is very smart. It is very fun. I truly, truly, truly love that film.
Okay.
Both of them.
But yeah, I was a little worried about the second one because a lot of the time the sequels do not hold up,
Right.
and this one went straight to Netflix, and I was like,
It didn't. It didn't. It was in
Oh,
theaters
that's
for
right.
like 3 weeks, and I saw it on the last day that it was in theaters.
That's right. You're right. I completely forgot about that. It was in the theaters for a short amount of time in select theaters. None
Yep.
of those theaters were in my area, so to me,
It was very specifically in select theaters so that it could be eligible for award season. And oh
Awards,
my
right.
god, it
Yeah.
needs to win awards. It's so good.
so good. And it's one of the few like movies that actually acknowledges the pandemic
Yeah,
Oh.
because it is set in 2020.
early 2020.
Early 2020, and some of the stupidity of what people did during that time is shown in it, but it is so fucking good.
It is so funny too, and some of it is really relevant right now. And I'm like, Ryan Johnson, did you just know how bad things were going to get? Because it was finished
Yeah.
well before some of the big billionaire shit that's been going on.
Yeah.
Okay then.
It's
It-
so good.
It is genuinely such well, and what's great about it is you don't have to have watched the first movie.
No,
Oh, that's good.
absolutely
They-
not.
They are unique stories, and the only carry through is
LeBlanc.
Is a character.
is Blanc, yeah.
Okay.
I love him.
And in that respect, it is also very Agatha Christie because it is the detective who is the carry through of all of the storylines, and that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Also,
I
it's nice
highly
to
recommend.
see Edward Norton every now and then.
Every now and again to remind you that he's good at playing a douchebag.
Just a little taste
Do you-
of the Edward Norton.
But Tiana, do you think he's playing, or do you think he just shows up and
I
is
actually
being
think
himself?
he might be playing.
Well, because here's the thing, like Tom Hiddleston, for example, plays a really good villain and is also one of the sweetest human beings you will ever run across. I think that to play an actually really interesting asshole, you have to be a really genuinely kind person who lets the asshole out to play the characters. So like Tom Hiddleston playing Loki or any of the other villainous roles that he's played.
Or David Tennant.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my god.
Yeah. When he is a bad guy, fuck.
David Tennant as Kilgrave is legitimately triggering for me, and it is very good.
Yeah. He was so good at that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true.
I love that man.
All
There
right,
are
I take,
people-
I
the-
take
the-
back what I said about Ed Norton.
Also, Michael Sheen is another guy who is
Right, yeah.
supposedly a very nice man, but when he played a serial killer in Prodigal Son, I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
this is a thing that we need to unpack, man. You should not be good at this."
And I'm of the opinion that people who think they're good at playing assholes, like what is his name who played Joker in Suicide Squad? Jared Leto. Jared Leto
Oh.
is just a dick.
Yeah,
And he's bad at playing it because he's like trying to put on the affectations
that he's
of
a
the
dick.
asshole
Yeah.
instead of just being his asshole self.
It's
Not to mention he's a cult leader.
Well, that too.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it takes a real emotional depth and maturity to bring out the nuances of a good of a very well played horrible person. You know,
Yeah.
like I talk about emotional maturity a lot with like my kids and stuff like that, and like the ability to feel like a big one is being able to feel two conflicting emotions at the same time. Being able to hold space for those two things. And that's what you have to do to really be that, and to really like bring out that person in your acting.
Yeah, because every villain thinks that they are the hero of their own story. Right. And if you are going to play them as the one-note Jared Leto Joker, it's boring.
Which is why I was so like disappointed with them casting him as Morbius.
It's Morbin time.
I've not seen it. I haven't. I should probably watch it eventually, but
I refuse. It looks stupid.
You don't need to.
Well, so here's the thing. As someone who likes to watch train wrecks,
I'll enjoy it, I'm sure. because it's one of the very few movies to flop not once but twice in theater.
Yeah. Well, it's just insanity. Like, he also just like looking at him makes me go, I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Like, you make me feel like I should stay away from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your lizard hindbrain is like, nope.
Yeah. Some preservation tells me that maybe no.
All right, I have to drop to do some nighttime care for kids.
Yeah, I've just looked at the time.
It is about that time.
To go. So we will wrap up by saying thank you all for hanging out and listening to us talk about movies and stuff tonight. This has been just a nice way for us to sort of get back into streaming, and next time we will be playing our game because we will have gotten a lot of this stuff out of our systems, maybe. So,
and come join our Discord.
Yeah. Come hang out and chat with us. Come tell me what movies I absolutely need to have on my list. I'm saying that because my partner is not in the chat as far as I'm aware, and isn't here to yell at me. You need to check movies off of your list before you can.
I need to know what's on your list already, Tiana.
We'll make that happen. We'll find a way.
We'll make that. I'll type it up someday.
Yeah, send it to me and I will help you.
Okay.
In the meantime, I have the power now. I'm going to send us on a raid. We're going to raid
Yay!
Ink and Liar because they're really cool and I like them.
Yeah.
They are playing D&D. They're playing, it's their Iron Valor. I forget which one it is. It was one that I really wanted to play or to watch, but when we're streaming, I can't. So I catch up later. Anyway.
It's been good seeing you, Danny's mom.
Bye, Danny's mom.
Thank you all for joining us. We will see you back here in 2 weeks' time.
Wow. Bye.
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 Oh, look, there's even a countdown.
Yeah, there is.
All right. See you later, folks.